If you don't know me, my name is Graham Moore, otherwise known as Daddy Dragon Online. Been banned from Facebook for years. Mine was one of the first accounts PayPal took down and no one said a word. All I do is talk about the English Constitution, and what I'm telling you now in this very short video is that you have been lied to. What's the big lie? What is really the big lie? What is the propaganda and the psyop that they have played against you for generations? And the answer to that is Parliament is sovereign. Parliament is not sovereign. You are. The Constitution is. The separation of powers is sovereign. And people must understand that you have been lied to. So on your screen, I'm going to read this out briefly to try and stay within time. But in a nutshell, Parliament is the primary legislator. There's no dispute in that whatsoever. But it is limited in its legislation powers by the Constitution of England, not Britain. Britain does not have a constitution. Both the Crown and the law lords can rule the legislation void if deemed repugnant by the people or if it goes against our constitutional inalienable rights. Unlike EU law, which have derogations, the English Bill of Rights cannot be derogated. If Parliament believes it is sovereign, it must show us the authority it relies on and prove who and when it was given sovereignty by it. So by making this statement and enacting laws against the people and their rights, Parliament and all parliamentarians commit the offence, 1, of subverting the English Constitution, 2, contempt of sovereign, 3, contempt of statute. This was confirmed with authority of the English Bill of Rights, 1689, from the Convention Parliament, Coronation Oath Act 1689, Parliament Recognition Act 1689, and numerous case law, not least of which the constitutional ruling of Ashby versus White 1703. And I'm talking about the full ruling from the archives, not the bullshit that you see on Google, which is all part of the same thing, right? Including AI, I may add. Right, so the programming of AI, and especially Chat GDP or whatever it's called, it has been programmed with bias against your rights. So I'm going to show you this other document. You can find this on the English Constitution Society or the English Constitution Party website. There's two separate ones. There's the English Constitution Society, which is completely non-partisan, non-political, etc. It's about independence and the English Constitution.com. So the English Constitution Society.com. And then you have the English Constitution Party, again, completely non-partisan. We are not interested in left and right politics. We're interested in you, the English men and women, and giving you your rights back. And the only way you're going to get that is through independence. There's a reason for it. Now, on your screen at the moment, there is a document. It's called, we call it Appendix A. It's currently being used in the High Court at the moment. Bill of Rights 1688 Preamble, right? An act declaring the rights and liberties of the subject. So if you know what a preamble is basically spelling out what the law is achieving, right? So there it is. It's telling you what it's achieving. Then tells you what the problem is and how they seek to resolve it. So it says, where the late King James II, by the assistance of diverse and evil counsellors and judges and ministers employed by him, did endeavour to subvert and extirpate the Protestant religion and the laws and liberties of this kingdom, meaning England. Right? So there it goes. All the information is in there. Now, Lord John Somers is the person who framed this. At the end of this document, there is a mention from Lord John Somers, which is here, right? This is the framer. So as the American would say, framers or founding fathers. and carefully providing such means of correcting and punishing their ministers and councillors if they transgressed by the laws, that they might dare not to abuse or oppress the people or design against their freedom or welfare. Lord John Somers, he is the person he was a lawyer, he was a judge of the time of 1688. He also wrote a number of other elements, including the Acts of Settlement of 1701, which was another really important document, equally as important as the English Bill of Rights. Before that, you had the Declaration of Rights, you also had the Declaration of Reasons, and there are a number of other documents that were produced and is in the archives as a record of what happened, right? So again, go to the top part. I've got to try and keep this under 10 minutes. For judges to allow the modification or appeal of these two sections, they follow in some of their professional ancestors' footsteps. This acquiescence led to civil war. It was by good fortune and the character and integrity of Lord Somers and others we regained the dignity of England for her subjects. Now, here is the original English Bill of Rights as originally enacted by a convention parliament. It's really important you understand that. A convention parliament is not an ordinary parliament, as a constitutional statute is not an ordinary law, right? There is a hierarchy of these things in our constitution. So section 2, and it be further declared and enacted by the authority aforesaid that from and after this present session of Parliament, no dispensation by non-obstante of or any statute or any part thereof shall be allowed, but the same shall be held void and of no effect, except a dispensation to be allowed in such statute, and except in such cases as shall be specially provided for by one or more bills or bills to be passed during this present session of Parliament. What does that section say? It says that Parliament is not sovereign. It says that Parliament cannot legislate in any way it wants. It has to comply with the English Bill of Rights and all of its provisions. And that includes the preamble, and that includes everyone understanding exactly what it was doing. So again, what you'll see in red on your screen is what they removed. They repealed it in 1947, I think it was, just after the Second World War. And they took away from you all of your rights and declared themselves, Parliament, as sovereign. It is a lie. It is a fraud, and you need to make everyone aware of that. The only reason I know this is because we have reversed engineered all of the laws they enacted to take our rights away. So again, it's colour-coded, the document. It tells you this was unlawfully removed by fraud and deceit, removed by the British Parliament without the knowledge of the people. The removal of the parts in red completely and unlawfully changed the meaning of Section 2 to the detriment of the subjects of England. Now, if you go down next, so again, this is the legal document on your screen where they did that. They buried it in thousands of lines of law to put that little tiny bit in there that most people never even saw, right? The next one was Section 3, really important, people. Section 3, this provision of the Bill of Rights 1688 protected all the English laws and charters prior to 1688. Yes, that includes the Charter of Liberties, that includes the Magna Carta, that includes every charter that give you rights against the state. That means every common law, every statute prior to 1608 that give you every single bit of inalienable rights that God give you. And it was confirmed by the Protestant religion and the Protestant government and the Protestant kings, right? That they said no Pope can take it off you, no authority outside of England. This was given to you by God, and we are confirming that. That's what they did. Now, Section 3 says this: provided that no charter or grant or pardon granted before the 3 and 20th day of October in the year of our Lord 1689 shall be in any ways impeached or invalidated by this Act. but that the same shall be and remain of the same force, and in effect in law, none other than if this acted